Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is yet another episode of Physical Media Madness. And this is for the month of May. This is my birthday haul because I had my birthday on May 2nd. And some of these I actually got before May 2nd because I went to a few places for early birthday gifts in late April. So I didn't necessarily get all of this in the month of May, but I did get a decent amount of it. Um, one of these is a pre-order from Amazon. The others are honestly titles that I got from various different places locally, resale shops, thrift stores, you name it. I also got some items from eBay and Amazon. So let's just get started. I got quite a few titles to show, and then I'll dig through Dawn of the Discs again, and I will look and see if there's any upcoming releases on physical media that I want to talk about. And there's a rumor that I want to discuss for sure. But yeah, let's just get started. So here we have the DVD complete series of Danny Phantom, the Nickelodeon show, created by Butch Hartman, who did The Fairly Odd Parents. I remember watching this a decent amount of times on TV when I was a kid. So got this for pretty cheap. So I was looking forward to checking it out eventually, and it dropped right into my lap for a good price. So I grabbed it. Here we have the media book 4K release of Bloodsport with Jean Claude Van Damme. This is, I believe, this is already out of print. The company is doing a steelbook release that's coming out soon. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can pre-order that. I think already. If you want to get a steelbook instead of a media book release, so that's Bloodsport. I already checked out the picture quality, and it's easily the best the film has ever looked on home video on home media. Then I also have the limited edition box set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, the Toby Hooper classic. This is the second sight release, so it's got like a ton of bonus stuff. Like there's a bunch of essays and writings and stuff like that in this hardcover book. There are these postcards, and then there is the set itself, which includes a bunch of different discs. So you have three of them actually. You have one that's a 4K, one that's a Blu-ray, and then one that yeah, it's just another Blu-ray. It's not necessarily as jam-packed as like the Dawn of the Dead box set from Second Sight, but it's still a really awesome set. And if you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is without a doubt more than likely the definitive release of the film. Um, got some DVDs here. Got Frisky Dingo season 1. Really enjoy this show. I think this show is incredibly underrated. It's a crazy ass show. And there's season 2. Um, here we have the complete series of a show that has honestly been fairly forgotten about, and that is Profiler. I got a As you can see, yeah, the price tag is kind of a little steep, but goes for more than that online. So this is season 1, and I didn't just get season 1, I got the whole series all in one go. I got season 2, season 3, and then season 4. So I got Profiler the entire series with Robert Davi and Ali Walker, and that's the A&E release. And I believe, yeah, there's something weird about season 1, and what it is that it's missing an episode, and it has to do with some kind of rights issues or something along those lines. So it was never included. But there is like an overseas release. I think it might have been from Madman or Australia, and it has that episode on it. Now, continuing, I got just more randomness. Here are some more Blu-rays. Got The Sandlot, classic. Really enjoy that movie. This is, I think this is season 3 of Rick and Morty. This is The Gallows because it was like super dirt cheap, like really cheap. I was like $1 or something like that. I know for some people they say that's too much. 47 Meters Down. We have From the Dark. I got Pump Up the Volume, the Warner Archive Collection release. Action film called Redeemer with Marcos Zarkor. Inside Out for the Disney Collection. Season 1 of Peacemaker. Here we have The Black Hole, the Disney Blu-ray exclusive from Disney Movie Club. We have D3 The Mighty Ducks because I have the first two. Decided to get the third one, even though I'm not really a big fan of it. The Menu, honestly, one of my favorite films from last year. I thought this was a really, really good film. The Menu, great movie. Glad to have it on Blu-ray. Then we have Dollhouse season 1 and Rick and Morty season 6 because I have the other seasons already on Blu-ray. And still not done yet. Got the Crimson Rivers from Kino Lorber. Big Hero 6 for Disney, for the Disney collection. Zootopia for the Disney collection. I actually saw this a while back and I really liked it actually. And I've never seen Big Hero 6 or Inside Out. There are a lot of Pixar Disney movies I actually haven't seen yet. Here we have some more TV shows. Workaholics, a complete series. Got this to complete my Twilight Zone collection. Twilight Zone, the complete series. The new Twilight Zone. Yeah, and it was $25.99. Some people say that's way too much, but actually it was brand new, so it's a pretty good deal. And I don't believe it's on streaming anymore, so. Then we have this, the Outer Limits complete series box set from Madman. I got a crazy story about this, okay? So I initially passed this up when it came out because I already had what I thought was the original releases of the series from Alliance Entertainment from Canada because I got them from eBay a few years ago, and I did some research and I found out that there were a lot of bootlegs of this particular show. In fact, I went back on eBay and looked up listings and I saw the same photo that was used for the listing that I bought years ago, and I saw that there were people that were selling numerous copies of the series, and I knew it was out of print, so that immediately raised my suspicion, and so I did some extra research on my own. I put one of the discs into a disk drive and hooked it up to my computer and saw that it was only 4.7 gigabytes, which is a red flag for a bootleg. And then I remembered that the picture quality for the discs was really not very good. I just thought it was just the way that it was. But no, I had bootlegs the entire time. So I was like, screw that. And I ponied up the cash and I got the Outer Limits box set from Madman, which, I legitimately really like this show. And I wanted to have like the complete series for my anthology show collection. And so there we go. That's the Outer Limits. The picture quality is not amazing, but is considerably better than what was on the bootleg releases. Back to more stuff. We got Training Day, the 4K. I've actually never seen this film. I know it's crazy, right? I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I've never seen it. Another one that I haven't seen is Flashdance. But I decided to pick up the 4K because it was super cheap from a local retailer. And we got Mystery Men 4K from Kino Lorber. This is honestly one of my favorite films, and this Blu-ray and 4K looks fantastic. Escape from Alcatraz for the Clint Eastwood collection. It's a 4K, by the way. And then we have Marathon Man. Oh, they had the DVD. Programmed to Kill for from the Kino Lorber uh, releasing company. And then we have Steve McQueen as the hunter. So this is, I actually bought two of these by accident. I don't know what it is. There are times where, for some reason, Kino Lorber doesn't like warn you that you have more than one in your cart, and I get it, but like sometimes I just it seems like it doesn't go through when I click add to cart, so then it adds more than one in my cart, and then I find out later when I get the box in the mail that I've ordered doubles, and now I'm like, oh great. But it works out in the end because then I wind up reselling the double or I trade it in at a local shop. So it's not necessarily the worst thing ever. The Asphyx, really like this slipcover. I had an older release from a different company. I think it was Redemption Films. But I wanted to get this because I actually think this is a really underrated film, and I really like this slipcover. I really like that artwork. So the Asphyx. I also got a couple seasons of Boardwalk Empire because I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and the Blu-rays were super cheap. I mean, really, really cheap. I think it was like, what is it, like $2 for each Blu-ray or something? Like, it was ridiculous. So there's those ones. Still not done yet. Got 2 stacks left. Here we have the Superman 4 film collection 4K set. Um, they did have the Steelbook set. I didn't get it because I didn't need it. I'm totally fine with just this set. Um, it worked for me. I also like the slipcover for this. The original artwork is kind of not really the best in the world. I mean, could be worse, but also could be better. See, the Steelbooks included the original poster art, which does give them a leg up over these, which don't have the original poster art, original cover art, which just seems lazy. Why can't you just have the original poster artwork for every release? Why does it just have to be the Steelbook set, which is considerably more expensive? Now, like I did for Star Trek, if you're into Superman or you're curious about Superman films, here you go. Take a screenshot of that or pause the video, put in that redemption code or scan the QR code, and this digital copy of the Superman film collection is yours. You're welcome. Because I do not use digital. I don't do any of that. Back to more titles. We got Dreamscape. I actually have an overseas release, but I got a good deal on the Shout Factory release, so I decided to grab that. Got Dirty Dancing, the 30th anniversary edition. Megan. I actually like this film. I didn't see the theatrical version. I only saw the unrated cut. Got a Cocaine Bear. Still haven't watched it yet, but I do want to check that one out. Missing, another one that I do want to check out. Got a good deal on it. Got the Missing in Action films. I know there's a box set, but I wanted them individually because I prefer them that way. So you have Missing in Action, and then you have Missing in Action 2, the beginning. And then we have Braddock, Missing in Action 3. I only had the first film on Blu-ray. Well, I mean, I had the second one in a box set with other Chuck Norris movies, but I didn't have the third one that went out of print from Shout Factory. So I only had the first film. The Ruins, Babylon 5, and The Gathering in the End in the beginning. I do have more Babylon 5. It's just in another room, and I'll just wait to show that in another video. Because I have seasons 1, 2, 3, and 5. I just need season 4 and like the movies box set. For whatever reason, they never included the pilot episode, The Gathering. I think that's what it was. They never included that on the box set for season 1. It really does baffle me why that was never included. Here we have Once Were Warriors. I actually heard a lot of good things about this movie. I just haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's a good drama. And this DVD's not really the easiest to find, and I got it for pretty cheap. Also got the Librarian movie trilogy, because I actually do remember watching those back in the day and getting a kick out of them. And then here's the last stack. So we have the Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal, the 4K. Have Gladiator, the Ridley Scott film, 4K release. Black Hawk Down, another Ridley Scott movie. Got Lion King on 4K. This honestly looks amazing. This is one of Disney's best 4Ks, easily, hands down. Rogue One, Star Wars story for the Star Wars collection. Pacific Rim 4K. This is honestly one of the best looking 4Ks I have. Like, it looks really good. Movies, but great looking disc. Sicario, one of my favorite dramas of all time. Upgraded that and got the 4K. The Black Cauldron, Disney Blu-ray exclusive from the Disney Movie Club. Excuse me 1 second, I'm gonna get a quick sip of Melio from my Yeti. So after that, we have What Dreams May Come. Have This Is the End. Honestly, really enjoyed that film. Glad to get that on Blu-ray because I only had it on DVD. Big Eyes. Tim Burton film I've heard of, but I've never actually seen. R.I.P.D. I got this for 2 reasons. For one, it was super cheap. 2, my stepdad wanted to see it, so I got it for him. But yeah, if my stepdad didn't want to see it, I probably wouldn't have grabbed it. But I got it. House of the Clock on the Walls. Terminal. Babylon, a film that I actually did see and I liked. I didn't love it. It's one of those movies that has some insanely high highs and some crazy lows. Like, it's one of those movies where there are some great moments in that, and then there are some moments that really suck. Then we have Ralph Breaks the Internet. I don't know if I got this already. If I did, whatever. I don't think I got the one with the slipcover, and it only cost me like $2. And then, last but not least, is Community, the complete series. I actually got this for trade-in credit, so I didn't pay anything for this. And I only had the DVD set. It was gifted to me by a good friend of mine, but the DVD quality is not really the best in the Mill Creek DVD set. So I wanted to get the Blu-ray set because it was better. And got a really good deal on it. And it's not really going for like super cheap on Amazon right now either for some reason. So anyway, that is that for the physical media in terms of the media itself. But I got one little thing I want to show you before I get into talking about some upcoming releases. And it's this. This is a user manual for the Oppo UDP 203 player. And this is... I didn't just get the user manual. I have the actual unit. And this unit is a beast. This unit is infamous in the home theater community for being one of, if not the best 4K Blu-ray DVD player out there. It's by a company that no longer makes these units. They make phones now. It's actually a unit from like 2017, but it still works really well. Um, I paid a pretty penny for it on eBay, but it's definitely worth it for me as a collector, as somebody who is really a home theater nut, and I watch a lot of Blu-rays and 4Ks as well as media files on hard drives and on yeah, portable hard drives. And this is a really good state of the art media player, and it's unbelievable. I love this thing already. So it's one of those things where it's built to last. That's one of the reasons why I spent the money on it, because it's made out of really high grade, high quality components. It was considered at the time to be a luxury player, and in a lot of ways it still is. It's whisper quiet. It loads super fast. It's a really awesome unit. The remote even has a the capability to light up the buttons with movement. And in fact, I can I'm just gonna grab the remote real quick. I'll show you. I'll show you how awesome this remote is. So this is the remote for the Oppo, and you can't really see the lights right now because it's not really dark enough. So it's smart enough to not really have the lights light up if there's enough light. But if I turn the lights off, the buttons would light up. And what's really cool about this remote too is that it just has so many different options and capabilities that are just really really cool. One that's really nice is this resolution button. You press that, it can change the resolution of whatever you're watching. So you can go from, let's just say you have the resolution set on your player to automatically convert to 4K to the best of the unit's ability. Sometimes that works for certain titles. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. So you can press that button. This thing will pop up on the side of the screen, and you can change that. You can go to direct source, or you can go to a different resolution. There's also this zoom button, which is really awesome because the zoom button makes it so if you have one of those DVDs that has like really improper aspect ratio, you know, the one where you watch it on a modern TV and the screen is like super tiny, well, you can use the zoom button and it can do all these different things to zoom the frame, so it can make it closer to what it might have looked like if it was actually a legitimate, properly transferred release with the right aspect ratio. Sometimes that does cause an issue with picture quality, but that's honestly really dependent upon the source material, the source of the video to begin with. But yeah, it's just a really awesome remote. I love this remote, and I love the player, and I'm in love with it. And to me, it was definitely a good chunk of change well spent, because I'll get a lot of usage out of it. But because it costs a decent amount, other than like a couple pre-orders that I have put up in advance, and maybe the occasional good deal I might get in something, I'm just gonna say it right here, like the updates for the next few months, when it comes to like this series of videos, is probably not gonna be as large. So a good chunk of the video is just gonna be me talking about upcoming releases. But yeah, I love my Oppo, and I am really, really, really happy with it. And I can't recommend one enough if you have the money and there's one available. Uh, but I know for a lot of people, they just don't have the coin, and I get it. I understand. It's not a cheap unit at all. But I have a good amount of backup plans too, in case, you know, something might possibly happen to the unit. But Oppo still repairs them, so there's that too, which I think is really awesome. They still repair them for a fee Just got to ship the unit to Oppo directly, and they'll repair the unit. And from what I've read, they have impeccable, just incredible customer service. But yeah, now I'm gonna dive into Dawn of the Discs. So looking at the listings here, High Noon with Gary Cooper, gonna get a 4K release from Kino Lorber. Arrow Video is gonna do a Blu-ray of Mute Witness, which I'm kind of curious about. Maybe giving that film another watch in HD, maybe seeing some of the features, but it's definitely not a release that I am going to rush out and buy, because I've seen Mute Witness before and I really was underwhelmed to buy it, to be perfectly honest. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is going to get a 4K release from Paramount, which is pretty cool. So I Married an Axe Murderer is getting a 4K from Sony, which is interesting. There is some updated specs for the upcoming 4K of Creepshow from Scream Factory, and there's no new features whatsoever. The only new thing is that it's 4K and you have a Dolby Atmos track, and that's it. Kind of like what I expected. There's a 30th anniversary collector's edition steelbook of Jurassic Park, which is coming out in the UK in June, and it's got postcards and a booklet and a little film cell replica and a certificate of authenticity, and it's going to cost you a pretty penny. And in all honesty, I don't really see the point of it. It's not a new transfer or anything. And to be honest, the film has been needing one because the 4K was very So, I don't know. I read that Kevin Tenney, he did a bunch of interviews for some new special features for some new potential releases. My guess is probably would be like Night of the Demons 3 and like Pinocchio's Revenge, which yeah, they haven't been on Blu-ray, but they both of them suck, so it's not like I would really go crazy about a release of either one. The Wicker Man is getting a 50th anniversary 4K steelbook from Studio Canal. Needful Things is getting a 4K from Kino Lorber. To Live and Die in LA is finally getting a re-release. It's getting a release from Kino Lorber in 4K, which is pretty cool. For some reason, there's an overseas 4K of the Battlestar Galactica 70s movie. I have no idea why. A Bronx Tale is getting a 4K release, and I'm hoping it's better than the Blu-ray release that came out, which I have not heard the best things about. Just looking here, U571 looks like it's gonna get a 4K. Not anything that I'm really like super psyched about. National Lampoon's Vacation's getting a 4K release. Turbulence is getting a Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. I remember really not being a big fan of that movie, even though Ray Liotta was definitely having a lot of fun with it. Hugo's getting a 4K from Arrow. I guess that movie Angel is getting a 4K from Wicked Vision. That's interesting. Some crazy jam-packed special edition of Razorback that from Umbrella that even includes a toy version of the Razorback. Oh yeah, you have the Chucky sequels. Those are getting 4K releases. Bride of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and I Don't Give a Fuck. The only one I really honestly wouldn't mind getting someday is Bride of Chucky, because I actually I have some fun with that one. I actually rewatched that recently, and I didn't mind it. Um, there's gonna be a 4K of World War Z, which I do like the film, but I don't really know. I mean, maybe it might be worth the upgrade. Speaking of upgrade, that's getting a 4K. If you are a fan of that movie, and I know there are a lot of people who are fans of that movie, I'm not one of them because of the stupid fucking ending and the writer and director thinking that he's some kind of newfound auteur and he's coming up with something that's completely unique and original when it comes to an AI story where the AI is evil. Wow. I've never seen that before in an AI movie. The Burning from the 80s, that's getting a 4K from Scream Factory as well. Shout Factory is also doing Blu-ray of Team America. America, fuck yeah. Uh trying to see if there's anything else that's really worth fighting back. The Tom Skerritt movie that's getting an Arrow release, which I think that's pretty cool. Toxic Avenger films are getting a 4K box set. If you're a big fan of those, um, there's some crazy loaded special edition steelbook from Zavi of Hard Target, but it doesn't have anything new, so it's really not worth a high price tag. And I don't really know about anything else. Oh yeah, Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is getting a 4K from Synapse, which I'm really looking forward to. And I think I might have already mentioned that in the other video. And speaking of things that I'm looking forward to on physical media, I heard a rumor that The Abyss and True Lies are slated for October. But at this point now, I will believe it when I see it. Because I got duped. I thought that I heard it directly from the source, from a guy who knew the guy who worked on the remaster, and everything seemed legit, and the release date was supposed to be March. March came and went. There was no pre-order for The Abyss. There was nothing. And so now all the rumors I'm hearing are about October. And Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits, he asked a guy who worked for Lightstorm and asked him about True Lies and The Abyss and Titanic. And he asked him if, they might be coming out in 4K this year. And he's like, I think so. But that doesn't mean anything because there's been a lot of this. I think so. I think it will. And then it never does. So, and especially if the rumor is true that The Abyss and True Lies are just going to be Best Buy exclusives. Like, I swear to fucking Christ, if that is the case, if it's the case that The Abyss and True Lies are going to be Best Buy exclusives on 4K, then we are all fucked. Because I guarantee that will be scalped out the ass. Both of those titles will be. It makes no sense, though, that would be the case. I think it makes sense that there will be exclusives like Steelbooks, like what has happened in the past with Best Buy, but it makes no sense to me whatsoever that they will be only exclusive to Best Buy because Disney would be throwing away so much revenue because The Abyss and True Lies have been two of the most highly requested titles on Blu-ray or 4K. So that makes no sense to me financially, but it's Disney we're talking about. So who the hell knows? But anyway, that's all I got for you. That's all I got for this month's edition of Physical Media Madness. And until the next time, until the next haul, until the next discussion of what's coming next, I'll see you later. See ya.